say, God bless our troops, God bless America, and gentlemen, start your engine!
This week, it comes down to one race in the regular season. The schedule has been set, and for 4 more races, the top 4 in points will decide who goes to the championship and what venues will take. Live from the virtual Auto Club Speedway, it's QSR and their Xfinity series. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, alongside Jake Reeves, the redneck announcer, with me all season long. It's the final race of the regular season, Jake, at Auto Club. It's going to be exciting. I think this racetrack should still be alive and well. It's still alive and well on iRacing.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Bradley, it's a damn shame, honestly, that this track right here is not raced on this season. Obviously, there you see it, 2 miles in length right here in Fontana, California. Hollywood, Bradley, right here in Hollywood, opened back in the late 90s. 14 degrees of banking in these turns, 11 degrees on the front stretch. But folks, this place is wide. How wide is it? I'm telling you right now, it is so wide that it's literally 5, maybe even 6 lanes wide. You could literally see that kind of racing here this evening at Auto Club Speedway. And what a better place, really, to end the regular season. The only difference would probably be Daytona or Talladega, but we've already seen all that kind of chaos. As you see everything that we went through, Bradley, hell, we went from Daytona all the way in Daytona Beach, Florida, where Dirt Likes ended up getting the win there, all the way down to Auto Club. One thing I do want to mention, Bradley, there is a little bit of beef going on out here with this QSR Xfinity series with some of these drivers, so it'll be interesting to see how this plays out.
Points up on your screen. Jared Ziegler took over the lead last week. Ronnie Joyner did not have a good week at Dover. So here tonight at Auto Club, this could be the redemption race that Ronnie Joyner needs to lead the regular season ending. But with that, let's get you trackside here. There's your race analysis up on the screen, but let's get that grid up on the screen for you and take these drivers down. Starting on the pole here today, it's going to be Daniel Mulnix in the number 2 with a 42.381. Kevin West to his outside. Row number 2 is going to belong to Chuck Sweeting, fastest in practice. Ronnie Joyner on the redemption. He'll start in the top 5. Caleb Nelson will start in the 5th position with Jared Ziegler in 6th. 7th spot, Galen Wunsch in 7th spot, and 8th is CJ Gates. Rounding out the top 10 is Trenton Wilkin and Derek McMurtry.
Joseph Terciano's going to roll off 11th. Vspeed's Morgan Cook rolling off in P12. Marshall Newton 13th. Dirt Likes will be 14th. Kenorian Davis will end up being 15th with Quentin Stewart, the owner, in 16th. Brett Allen 17th. Mike Petrum will be 18th. Stephen McGough will be 19th. And Taylor Clement, that is the top 20 as they are coming to the restart zone, Bradley.
So here we go for the final race of the regular season. We're underway and live from Auto Club.
Rocking and rolling on the inside lane. That's going to be Daniel Molnix. He's got the new guy, Chuck Sweeney, who had a fantastic race last week at Dover. Sweeney tries to see if he can get clear. He's going to get clear of Kevin West. They're going to work their way off of turn number 2, but it's all Daniel Molnix as he has the lead. Now Caleb Nelson side by side with Kevin West for that 3rd spot as they all chase Molnix and Sweeten going into 3.
That new paint scheme on the number 2 here. First time that we've seen that out on the racetrack. I have to say, I'm liking what I see on that machine. But look behind Chuck Sweeting. He's coming around here for the first lap. He's already picked up 1 position. And I mentioned it there in the grid. He was the fastest car in practice by a long shot. This track, very greasy. Weather up on the screen, 135 degrees is the track temperature. So it's very slippery. It's very hot. And it probably won't go down. If anything, it'll go up.
Absolutely. I mean, we're looking at it as far as the sim time goes. Give or take 1:30 in the afternoon. So right at the pitch, part of the day. But it could end up getting, like he was talking about, it's going to get a little bit hotter. And as soon as I say that, bam, went from 135 up to 136 is there, slicing and dicing. Coming off of turn 4, a couple of them kind of got together. They got it straightened out. CJ Gates, one of those drivers, that ended up sliding through there. Maybe a little bit of door banging back there as well. But Sweeten trying to go for the lead, but he's not going to be able to get the run. He's going to fall back in line. He may get the run coming off of 2.
Looks like he had a little bit of speed there. Dirty air on these cars, making that right front burn off. These drivers will be finding air on the nose, and this line will work its way up the racetrack as this 65 lap over 130 miles here today from Auto Club. This racetrack is going to change. It's ever-changing here on the iRacing service. They've had quite a few updates here as of late. And this oval revamp, man, what a shame, though. We went back and talked about how this track on the schedule, it's kind of hard to come up with telemetry on a racetrack that doesn't exist anymore, but iRacing did a pretty fantastic job with the initial build of this racetrack.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this place right here is absolutely a barn burner of a place to sit and watch a race. I mean, it's like I said earlier, I mean, it's a damn shame that they're not going to be able to race on this place anymore. And obviously, there you see, this is going to be real key because we see this, I guess you could call it really a super speedway with just how damn fast they're going to be going around here, Bradley. Especially going into turn 3. Look at all, just look at all the seams right here, folks. So many seams all the way up and down this wide front straightaway that you see before you. You see Galen Wunsch going to try to make a pass right here on Caleb Nelson on the inside lane. It's the battle for 7th. But obviously, with this old surface and worn out it is, obviously the drivers love this surface, Bradley. But one thing to keep in mind, especially going into turn 3, you'll see these cars literally bottom out because it's like a damn ramp over there going into turn 3. So a lot of old surface out of this. I guess you could say it's a little bit faster, but basically like Homestead, but it's just a little bit faster.
Progressive banking here on the outside as you ride on board with Caleb Nelson. He took the high line through 3 and 4, and you'll see the advantage on the entry of the corner for the guy who was inside there. That was the 199 of Galen Wunsch, who got the nose ahead, but as soon as he got back to the throttle, that out and exit speed just a little bit quicker down the straightaway. Yeah,
I mean, that's what you're going to end up seeing a lot of here this evening, but obviously we've talked about it before. We got to be careful with that top side, and got to be careful with Chuck Sweeten up at the front. He's going to take it down to the inside of Daniel Molnix, trying to go for the lead. West trying to see if he can hold in tow. Ronnie Joyner's back there as well as Jared Ziegler. A lot of guys up here. Obviously the top 3 in points sitting right here in the top 5 very early on right here. Each one of them knows that there is a possibility that they could try to dethrone Jared Ziegler, who's currently sitting in 5th. Chuck Sweeten, he ain't got a damn dog in this fight, son. He just wants to get up here and try to win here tonight at Auto Club, and he's looking pretty good. He took a shot. We'll see if he can try to make it work as Kevin West getting the run off of turn 2. Will he dive it down to the inside? He thinks different and falls in line.
Well, there's one thing I know about Chuck Sweeting. He's got 2 speeds, fast and precise. This guy doesn't make mistakes. He's quick everywhere he goes. I've actually had the honor of competing with him in other leagues, and it's very rare that you get ahead of him. If you do, cherish the moment. Daniel Molnix is doing everything he can right now I think it's just one of those ticking time bombs. Like I said, fastest in practice, and there's quite a few cars behind the 2 right now. Molnick's getting the pole. He's been able to maintain it with the draft. It's impossible to run away from these guys.
Absolutely. I mean, you see right there the top 5, Ziegler way up against the track. CJ Gates, saw him get a little loose off of turn 2 a couple of laps ago. He's actually jumped up into this. Look at this damn hornet's nest back here with McMurtry down on the inside. He's going to dive it down low with his teammate Galen Wunsch. They're going to kick Wilkin, I'm sorry, trying to follow. That was Nelson up on the top side. They try to kick him to the curb. Not able to do it. McMurtry tried to dive it down, not going to be able to do it. Now here comes Wunsch. Here comes Nelson. Wilkin trying to get a run. He's got Newton right behind him, and there he is. Morgan Cook, who won in that thriller earlier on this season at Talladega, that 4-wide finish that me and you called, Bradley. Morgan Cook up here inside that top 15, but this is a hornet's nest as Quentin Stewart gets up into the wall off of 2.
In the background there, the 24 brushes the wall briefly there on the safer barrier. We had brief 3 wide coming out of exit 2. The 12 in the middle, Trenton Wilkin trying to get clear of this. He's really hugging the door. The 48 of McMurtry slides up the racetrack. We're offset 4 wide down the front stretch. 07 of Caleb Nelson made a mistake coming out of turn 4.
Yeah, he kind of got up there a little bit too high. Maybe jumped the cushion, I guess you could say, for some of you dirt track fans out there. Maybe jumped the cushion a little bit, slid up and got up into the wall coming off a forward, rode the wall damn near all the way down the front straightaway. McMurtry sends it. Here comes Morgan Cook. Cook tries to follow. Newton up on the outside. Right behind him, Terciano and Brett Allen still got them Clemson colors on that 13. He has rode that sucker all season long. He is right behind all of this. Newton takes a shot to the outside. Tries to see if he can make it work. Here comes Morgan Cook down on the bottom side.
And Cook very loose coming off of turn 4. He almost sends it sideways. Loses a little bit of ground. The 76 of Newton is able to clear. And we single file out there momentarily. Battle for the lead, though. The 1 of Kevin West peeks to the inside. Same move that we saw Sweeting pull a moment ago. And there was a change for second position as the 1 is now attacking Daniel Molnix. You can defend on that outside, but for how long the 2, he's going to keep getting pressure from multiple different drivers tonight.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, Bradley, I mean, he's been able to fight off each and every one of them. Chuck Sweeting being the first one, and then Kevin West stepped him aside and said, come on, Chuck, slide over a little bit. Let me give it a shot. Let's see if we can try to dethrone Daniel Molnix and see if we can slide by him. And he's not been able to do it. Honestly, Bradley, I mean, he just basically had, he just had to dive it down to the inside, tried to see if he can make it work, and he just has not been able to make it work. Nobody has really had a shot right here at Molnix just because of how he's been able to run his line. As you see right here, the 19 way back here, that's Kendorian Davis. And I got to give him a shout out real quick, Bradley, while we have a second right here. Shout out to Kendorian Davis for having the number 19 Toyota Supra right there with the Pass Pro Shops on there. Obviously, in the real NASCAR world, Martin Truex Jr. announced about a week ago when they was racing at Iowa, this will be his last full-time season in the NASCAR Cup Series. So I'm a big Truex fan myself, if you fans couldn't have already figured that out from the Redneck Announcer deal. But, I mean, I've been a big fan of Martin Truex his whole career. And, I mean, shout out to Truex and everything that he's done. And shout out to Kendorian Davis. Obviously, that is I guess you could say that's a little bit of a shout out to maybe his favorite driver out there as well.
We thought we were going to have a crossover. We do. The 199 of Wunsch is going to get to the inside of Trenton Wilkin. Wunsch back on the surge. He's back up to where he began this race. And it's not for lack of trying. It's been pretty aggressive back here from 7th place on back since the green flag dropped.
Well, I mean, yes, aggressive, and I'll say this, it's also been hellacious back here as we may end up seeing 3 wide there for a second. Thought Gates was going to slide up in front of Wilkin. He thought better of it. And Wunsch may have ended up thinking 3 wide, but thought better of it as well. Gates tries to hold it down on the bottom. Here comes Wilkin getting that outside run. He's going to be able to get that run. Now here comes Wunsch. He'll try to jump up, see if he can follow him and slide past Gates. We'll see how that works out. Wilkin gets clear. Now Wunsch sends it in. Wilkin jumps down. this is kind of new right here. Honestly, I figured he would have tried to stay up and maybe try to get the run off of the corner, but he thought different of it. Jumped down in front of Gates. Gates had to get out of the gas. That's going to open the door for Wunsch. It may open the door for Derek McMurtry also back there. Keep in mind, McMurtry, we saw the points, Bradley. McMurtry 5th in the points coming into tonight. And looking to have a very strong running here this evening. From what I saw out of the practice times, he didn't look too shabby neither.
In a lot of these practice times, we talked about how fast they were, but some of it too, guys will be out there drafting each other, maybe accidentally pick up a straggler off pit road and accidentally run a lap that maybe doesn't really reflect how fast these cars go around this place. But, sometimes you come out there with fresh tires, you just send it and you have a good time. About 42.6s in qualifying, but we were seeing 42 flats or 0.2 difference, and it's just it's crazy how fast these things can go under draft conditions.
Yeah, you're exactly right, 100%. See Molnix down here west, the trailer park dude trying to see if he can get a run on the outside. You see Molnix even dropping down to maybe try to throw West off a little bit. That way he does not get that draft that you was just talking about right there, Bradley. So, that's just awareness. That's just, I guess you could say, that's just awareness, and that's just being around for a good long while, and obviously the racecraft that Daniel Molnix has. And Kevin West, he didn't even decide to jump down and try to draft. So, that's just racecraft at its best right here from two of the best right here in the QSR Xfinity Series. He's riding on board. Way back here, I believe that is Marshall Newton, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong from what I said. Ronnie Joyner. Yeah, Ronnie's going to throw me some shade on that one. Like, hell, you couldn't even figure out my car. But, with all the paint schemes and everything, it kind of throws you off a little bit. But Ronnie, obviously, 12 points back right now from Jared Ziegler, obviously right in front of Ziegler. Obviously, he would love to get up here, lead him some laps, get some bonus points, and maybe be able to try to shoot up there and have a shot at it. Joyner didn't do too bad at Dover last week. He had a shot to try to get Ziegler, but it just wasn't the case. So we'll see how Joyner ends up doing right here. Joyner better watch his back bumper, because guess who? Ziegler down here as well, going to get a run, but Sweeten up top, trying to see if he can get this outside lane rolling. Joyner tries to dive it down to the inside. He's going to jump up. Joyner goes to third. Sweeten gets kicked back to fourth.
Sweeting had to lift out of it. I don't know if you saw that or not, but he was right up next to the wall. I think he sent a little bit too deep. Couldn't get back to the throttle, and Joyner, easy pass there for the 0-0 to go up to third. And we're starting to watch a little bit of attrition. 18 laps into this race now as they cross the stripe, and surprisingly, Molnix is starting to break that draft. He is pulling away from the rest of this field.
Yeah, he's doing a pretty good job. Obviously got it out to half a second over Kevin West. Joyner about a second and a half back, as you see the intervals right there. But, if we could, Bradley, the next time that Molnix comes around, he hits the line, I'd just like for everybody just to see, but you see it right here on the back of the car, but I was just going to see if we could maybe just get an onboard cam like that right there. Look at that. Look how much the camera is right there just shaking. Folks, this is what he is seeing here in the sim. Each and every little bump. There you see it, got a little bit of wheel action coming off of turn 4. Comes to the line right here, and it's still bumpy as hell. And he's rolling down through here. He's doing about 180 miles an hour going into turn 1. Just bumpy, bumpy, bumpy. Goes into 1 and 2. It's just bumpy. This place right here, like I said, it's old, it's wore out. And another thing about this, Brandon, we didn't talk about this right here much, but these guys do have 5 sets of tires. That's 4 in the pits, 1 on the car. I don't believe they're going to use every one of them, but I guarantee you this, if a caution was to come out right here, every single one of them is going down and they're getting tires.
Back on the surge here for some drivers that fell out of the top 10. Back towards the top 10 now for Quentin Stewart. He's up to 12th now after starting in 16th. Has a challenge here on the inside from Joseph Terciano, though. Terciano down 2 spots, and that'll make quick work. Quentin Stewart still on the outside. Brent Allen, biggest gainer of the race thus far. He's actually matching Reed Sanders. I'll take that back, is 8 spots up now as he crosses the stripe. But not to take anything away from the 13. Brent Allen has cracked the top 10 after starting back in 17th, so it probably feels like 1,000 cars at this point.
Well, I mean, the only thing I'll take away from him out of all this, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. The only thing I can take away from him is that damn logo on the front of the car. I mean, Brett, I'm sorry, buddy. I mean, I know you like Clemson and everything, but hey, from an Alabama fan, I mean, come on, really? ACC? Are you kidding me? Come on, let's go with the SEC. Let's go Alabama. I mean, hell, throw Georgia in there or something, man. I'm just kidding, Brett. But, I mean, obviously, I mean, you talked about it, 17th all the way up to 10th. Do want to mention a couple of drivers that have not had that good of a run all the way from the start of this race. One of those being the 07, Caleb Nelson. He started 5th in this race, and with that little bit of wall contact that he had coming off of turn 4, he ended up losing about 5 or 6 spots in just that one straightaway. So he is gone. Yeah, I mean, I'm telling you, he looks like he has got himself a damn handful. And it's showing right now. Obviously dropped as many spots as he had. Started 5th. He's sitting 14th right now.
Very greasy racetrack out there, and Nelson sliding up the racetrack coming out of turn 2. He's still sawhorsing it back here, trying to keep this thing on the race line. CG Gates, another one of those cars just behind him that has lost 7 spots. So some drivers that had a good short run falling off here. This race known and prone to go green all the way through. We're approaching the halfway point already, and we're only 20 minutes into this thing.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they're just going by as quick as pretty much as they put them down. Really, it's kind of separated out to two drivers, and you see them right there on your screen. The only reason you don't see Monix is because you're riding on board with him. There's Kevin West right behind him in that second spot. Monix has had the pole. He got the pole, and he's led every single lap. I may end up, I mean, it would be kind of crazy, honestly, Bradley, to possibly see a trend going on here, because obviously they went to Richmond. Caleb Nelson, he won the race. And if I'm not mistaken, he led every damn lap. Last week at Dover, Jared Ziegler won that race, and he led every single lap. Monix got the pole tonight, and he's led every lap. Now, Kevin West has took a couple of shots at him. He's got right up on his back bumper. He almost took the lead from him right there. It'll be interesting to see if Monix can make a three-peat out of the dominance right here.
That one car reeled it back in. It was over half a second at one point for the lead, but now Monix starting to show a little bit of attrition. Those tires are worn out, brushed with the wall here as they exit turn 4. Kevin West right on the back bumper as they pull away from Ronnie Joyner back in 3rd. Chuck Sweeting down to 4th. Top 5. Monix, West, Joyner, Sweeting, and Ziegler, which is kind of, I mean, with the exception of Sweeting, that's the top 5 in points as well.
Yeah, I mean, literally, I mean, and that's what I think a lot of these guys was wanting to do here tonight, Bradley, is obviously this is the regular season finale. This is the last race before they end up going playoff racing next week. And I think a lot of these drivers out here, especially these guys that's in the top 5 points, want to assert their dominance and show that they are the top dog coming into the playoffs next week. So it's no surprise to see that, in my opinion. It's no surprise to see that as well. Right there, world's fastest trailer trash, all up in the back bumper right there of Monix. But I'm not surprised to see 4 of the top 5 up here in the points racing it out right here in this top 5 this early on. I'm not surprised by that, because this right here, they're trying to show who the big dog is right now.
Back bumper now. Another big run coming out of turn 2. That's the disadvantage here at Auto Club. You can get those big runs off the exit, but where do you take it? If you don't run the preferred line, you're going to lose that run on the next exit. So Wes is going to have to plan this pass accordingly. If he can get a good run here, this is probably where he'll take it, is on the exit of turn 4, because turn 1 a little more forgiving when you run the bottom.
Well, I mean, honestly, I think what he's wanting to do is he's wanting to go up high like that right there. Much less, I mean, I would think the only reason why he would try to dip down to the inside is if he knows 100% that he's going to get the run and he's going to clear him. He's going to get a run right here. I just don't think he's going to get that run that he needs. He may end up looking to the inside, but I think the pass is really going to have to come from the outside, Bradley, unless he just gets that damn good of a run, comes off the corner, and is just able to get it. He may end up getting it, but he gets loose coming off of 4. Monix is going to be able to get away. I think that's what West is trying to do. He's trying to size him up, trying to draft, trying to do something to be able to try to get that run and be able to clear him, because he knows if he gets on the inside, door to door with him, then he knows he's pretty much screwed. As that's actually what he's trying to do right now. Monix goes all the way up to the wall, West down low, but then you're going to see, there goes Monix. He gets to run, and he powers away.
Just as we looked away there, the one dives to the inside, but I was back here looking at Trenton Wilkin gaining some positions, battling with the 57 of Jared Ziegler for the top 5, and the 12 car taking the outside line through 3 and 4. He'll get another good run here. It's just a matter of can he clear. Here he goes to the bottom. Will he clear going into turn 1 to get this pass completed? For every lap this goes on, he needs to catch up to Chuck Sweeting by 1.6 seconds. A lot of gap here at Auto Club. Right up next to the wall, he's going to make a mistake, and Wilkins going to lose the spot back after just gaining into the top 5.
Yeah, and honestly, Bradley, I mean, you see it back there, the 199, Galen Wunsch. That's going to enter him into that picture, into the conversation of trying to get him a top 5. Wunsch up here started 7th, and he's running on par with his start position right now, sitting in 7th, but he may have something to say about this. Wunsch tries to dive down to the inside. Ziegler's going to get the spot back. Pick Wilkin back. Now Wilkin going to dive it down to the inside. He's going to try to make the pass, and he's going to have to try to make it good right here because obviously we saw him. He overstepped the corner a while ago. He slides up right in front of Ziegler, cuts him off. Cut the nose off of it. Wilkin in the wall. Here comes Ziegler down on the bottom.
Ran out of racetrack there momentarily, and a quick little blink out there by the 12 that doesn't help the cause at all. But you saw he sent it into turn 1. Ziegler not ready for that lift and hit the back bumper, and I think that's why the 12 went up towards the wall. Last time by, he overshot it, but this time he had help.
Well, I mean, I understand that 100% because, I mean, he slid up there very, very late, to be honest with you, Bradley. He slid up there very late. I mean, he drove it in there, and the first thing he thought was jump up to the top side. Ziegler had no time to even lift out of the gas. So unfortunate to see that right there for him. And I mean, how about this right here? Is that Caleb Nelson going 1 lap down right there in the 07? He is 1 lap down right now on the field. He is really, really struggling right now in that 07. Actually, I think he may have already went down the pits to go ahead and pit. So right here about that halfway point right here, Bradley, that's when I always say when I think everybody needs to start pitting. There you see Caleb Nelson. I mean, there you see it right there, folks. That's fresh tires over old tires. That's the difference right there as Morgan Cook goes in.
57 of Ziegler also peels down to pit road. Maybe a little early for my taste. I know we're right at the halfway point, but I feel like these guys, if you're Molnix West with such a big lead on the rest of this field, I'd probably take it another 2 or 3 laps before I came in just to make sure that you have that tire advantage going to the second half of this race. The 2, Molnix has proven that he has the speed, now pulls the lead out 1.2 seconds, and looks like this time by he's going to come down pit road.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't blame him one bit because what I was actually thinking, if I was Kevin West, would be try to do the undercut. And if he's able to try to do that undercut, then what it's going to do is that he's going to be able to get out ahead of him after that pit stop. And we've already seen how hard apparently it is to try to pass him. So, or Monix is who I'm talking about. So we've already seen how hard it was for him to pass him. So, West might have got a little bit late on that. Ronnie Jordan may end up looking for some bonus points right here as he's trying to get up here and get the lead right here.
Peeks to the outside, taking the high line. The 1 car looks like he might be coming down this time around. He is, so the 00 will get that lap-led bonus point and put him up on the board. The top 3 drivers in this race have now officially gotten the points. Chuck Sweeting still out there on the racetrack, but he's seen a lot of fresh tires go by right now, and Sweeting has heavy damage on the right side of that machine.
Yeah, something happened with Sweeting. I think it might have happened to him coming off of turn number 4. Probably got a little loose. May ended up getting some help. I'm actually sliding back and looking right here. And, yeah, I think Sweeting might have got a little bit of help. He slid right up in front of Ziegler, and Ziegler just had nowhere to go and just straight up nailed him right in the back bumper. You check it out on the instant replay. There goes Sweeting. he ends up just sliding right up in front of Ziegler. Ziegler on those fresh tires, he was hauling ass coming around the top side and just nailed him right in the back bumper. And I mean, Sweeten, I understand where he's going with that, but Ziegler on those fresh tires, rocking and rolling right there. That's unfortunate to see right there for Chuck Sweeten. Looks like he's going to be on pits for a little bit.
Yeah, I think he's going to park it for the night as the 75 toes to the stall. That'll probably do it for Chuck Sweeting. Of course, not in it for the points here tonight, so he just wanted to come out here, get a victory, and unfortunately, the day will end early for the 75. Two other cars that have elected to take an early vacation from Auto Club to their way out, and Dorian Davis in the 19 is done for the day. Dirk Likes in the 3 has also taken it behind the wall here today. Halfway point officially here in the 00 Ronnie Joyner. 12 of Wilkins around at the entrance of pit road.
Wilkins tried to lock him up and not able to do it. And here comes Derek McMurtry also down pit road. Wilkins locked the brakes up going into the pits, and he ended up spinning it out. All the track position, I guess you could say, that Wilkins thought he was going to get, he's going to lose every bit of it. I don't know. He may have locked him up. Then again, maybe that was a downshift gone wrong right there. I've seen that numerous ways right there where it could have been locking the brakes up or downshifting the wrong way, but that sucker just spun out very quickly. But I'll say this, as fast as he was going in there, Bradley, there's no way that he was going to end up being able to make pit road speed limit because he was moving going in there. But how about this right here from Mitchell Costner? We didn't talk a lot about him. Obviously started 22nd in the field. He's up here leading him some laps. And how about the man right behind him that has not pitted yet? Mike Petrin started 18th in the field up here, getting him some TV time in that number 60. And obviously Mike would love to have a great run because the past couple weeks has not been too kind for Mr. Ghostly Ratter, as some of his friends would call him out there. So hopefully Mike can get him a solid run here tonight and make sure that he is in them top 12, or that top 12 when it comes to playoffs next week.
Bradley Hall in the 23 is in third. There's still 4 cars out on the racetrack that have yet to pit. Waylon Turner is the last in this grouping. 37 laps on this stint. Daniel Molnex will resume the lead after these 4 cars come down to pit. They'll have to come soon. 42, 43 laps is roughly the fuel calculation for this run. 100% fuel here today, but 5 tire sets, and if we have a caution, you don't really have to worry about coming back down, getting a fresh set. I would elect to say that most of these guys are going to come down as many times as they can to the end of this thing if we start getting cautions.
Well, I mean, believe it or not, Bradley, I mean, if a caution was to come out right now, Mitchell Costner and Mike Patron, they would be sitting perfect right now because obviously they got a pit. Molnix, Nelson, West, all those guys, we know they are going to pit. So, I mean, I see, what they're doing and everything, and I don't blame them one bit. I'd be trying to run as long as I could and maybe hope for that caution to see how that plays out. As you see Roddy Joyner back here in that 00 battling it out with Quentin Stewart in the 24. I haven't talked a lot about Quentin here this evening. Quentin obviously started 16th back there in the 13th spot. Old QSR haven't made a whole lot of noise here tonight, but look out! I mean, look how much he's fighting that damn wheel right there with the driver cam right here, Bradley. He is fighting that wheel and fighting Roddy Joyner right now, and this is just for the battle for 12th. I mean, we can only imagine if Kevin West gets back up there to Daniel Mornings, how that fight's going to be.
But you can see Sawhorse back and forth, just trying to keep it down there, not slide up into Joyner, who plays it smart on the outside. But that's the frustration. As soon as you get back to the throttle, it's kind of similar to Homestead here today. The car doesn't want to turn. It just scoots up the racetrack. You start scrubbing speed, you lose all that ground, and if you get on it too much, you're going to snap loose, and you're really going to lose ground. So it's kind of you're riding that line, the razor's edge, all the way around this place here today. And we'll check back in on that track temperature, staying right above 135 as it drops back down a degree. But honestly, here today, sticky, just greasy racetrack. It's hunting for grip.
Well, Bradley, I'll just tell you this much, baby. That's how we love it down south right there. Love to see a greasy track surface. Love to see these guys really wheel these cars. And that's what we've been seeing a lot of. You mentioned guys getting tight. And one thing that you may end up seeing some of these drivers try to do, wow, look at this movement back here between these guys right here. They may end up being a little beef between these guys back here, battling it out right there. Is that Mornix? Yes, Daniel Mornix trying to get around a lap car right there. And that got interesting right there for old Mornix. That was Turner, Waylon Turner, trying to go with that old strategy, I guess, just trying to stay out as long as he can. Mornix had the fresher tires, and it got interesting right there, Bradley.
Got a little loose here, riding the high line on the back of the 30 of Waylon Turner, and suddenly you're going to see the 2-car in the frame right here.
Whoa, wow.
That's a close one.
Wow, that could have been catastrophic for Mornix and Waylon Turner on that strategy that he's trying to do right now. But all of this right here going on, Mornix is really starting to gap himself. Kevin West, you see a hell of a battle going on back here. Ronnie Jordan, Galen Wunsch back here in the middle of this. And how about Marshall Newton up here doing pretty good? Obviously, his teammates have talked a lot about him for previous races. Marshall Newton up here inside that top 10, looking pretty good here tonight. And that number 76. And Newton trying to hang with some of the big dogs right here, trying to hang with Ronnie Joyner. Joyner was able to get away. And also right behind him, Morgan Cook doing pretty good up here at Auto Club as well. Got the Vspeed colors, obviously door banging download right across the deck lid. I mean, everybody knew I was going to throw that in there. There you see right there, the door banging download on Spotify. But Morgan doing pretty good. I mean, obviously sitting up here inside the top 10. And obviously Team Vspeed, they're thinking playoffs right now. And what better way to try to build some momentum going in the playoffs next week with a good old top 10 at Auto Club.
Well, he needs to finish 9th, Jake. I don't know if you knew about how we had this worked out, but the highest average finish is going to dictate who runs the 4 playoff races. And right now we're tied. After that week I had last week at Dover, we're exactly tied. So all he has to do is finish 9th or better here, and he's flirting with it. So sitting in 5th spot. I don't know whether to cheer him on or say, hey, maybe I'll get some more track time here before the season's over. I don't know.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, 2 drivers ahead of Morgan is Waylon Turner. Turner's got to pit eventually. He has not elected to make that pit stop yet. Mitchell Costner and Mike Petrum, both of those drivers have not elected to make that pit stop yet. So there's 3 spots right there that old Morgan Cook can get right here. He could be looking at a 7th place finish tonight. And Bradley, I completely forgot about you talking about that last week. I completely forgot about it. So, I mean, right here's your spot right here. Morgan Cook goes to the outside of Waylon Turner. That's your 9th spot right there, Bradley. Oh, boy, this is going to get good right here. But this a lot of battles going on the track and in the broadcast booth. It's awesome as Waylon Turner goes down.
Ziegler has a little bit of right front damage. I'm not exactly sure where the 57 picked this up. And if you see that right front fender a little crinkled in, the hood's got a little gap in it. And he's still putting on a good show here with Galen Wunsch for the 6th spot. But that's got to be hindering this car down the front straightaway in the backstretch.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a lot of aerodynamics plays into here at Auto Club, especially with the draft and especially with trying to make sure that you can get the car to turn. So obviously you don't want to have any dings or dents or anything like that on your car. So obviously I think it's got a lot to do with how it's messing up Ziegler right here. And this is key for some of those other guys that we were talking about up there inside that top 5. Obviously Mornix has already gotten around Mike Petrum, as Petrum has elected to go down into the pits and service his car. So now we're just waiting on Costner to go down, and when Costner goes down, that's going to surrender the lead back to Mornix. All this going on while Ziegler is having problems sliding back. We may end up seeing a new point leader and a new regular season champion. I mean, we thought Ziegler probably had this sucker in the bag, but it ain't over, not yet by a long shot.
Mornix pulls back up to the lead as Costner comes down pit road. Kevin West 1.8 seconds back. Daniel Mornix takes them to Gapplebee's. I just heard that the other day, so I had to say it. You ever been to Gapplebee's? That's what he's doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there before, but most of the time I'm on the receiving end of that one. I'm never on the giving end, to be honest with you, Bradley. I'm never gapping anybody. They're usually gapping me. That's the way that it always works out for me. But Molnick's doing a fine job. West currently second. Joyner, Wunsch, Ziegler. That's the top 5. Marshall Newton not too far back from Ziegler. And, you know, if I was Molnick's, West, Joyner, I would be really pulling for Marshall Newton, Morgan Cook, Quentin Stewart, these guys that's back here, not too far back from Ziegler, who's having that trouble. Matter of fact, we're talking about Morgan Cook just a second ago. He's already up to 7. He may be thinking 6th. He's going to take a shot to the outside. Newton down on the bottom side. Cook trying to get the run. Cook trying to go for 6th.
Loose there for a moment, had to back out of the throttle. Had a good run there out of turn 4 last time by, but now tires starting to wear, and I think at this point, I think most of this top 10 is just content with finishing where they are. These tires are, I mean, they're used up already. 16 laps in, they're already struggling just to get to the inside of each other.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, I think that's got a lot to do. You know, we talked about Homestead. Obviously, Dover was last week. With just how this abrasive track surface is, Bradley. And I think that's why a lot of drivers on the sim and in real life absolutely love this place. And, you know, like I said, you know, damn shame why it's not there. Heard they was turning it into a short track, but, I mean, I don't know for sure on that one. Some of you out there in the live chat maybe can key up on that one. Or Bradley, maybe you know something about that as well.
Yeah.
But
loose here for the 13. Contact with Wilkin. They're going to save it. I can confirm, though, that they are going to make this place a short track. They're using the length of the front stretch and the old grandstands. Some of them have come down. There's some photographs of them removing turns 1 and 2.
And Morgan Cook just made a hell of a move on Marshall Newton up here. For that 6th spot, Newton got up into the wall. Cook tried to cut it down low, and he almost lost the car and almost sent it into the grass. But he was able to get down to the inside. He was able to make the pass, so kick Cook up to 6th, kick Newton back to 7th. You saw Cook right there all the way down on the bottom of the track. Watch it again. Newton gets up into the wall, slides right down in front of Cook. Cook makes an aggressive move and dirt tracks it on the front stretch all the way down to the apron. Hell of a move by Cook, hell of a save by Cook, and also by Newton. Both of them could have cleaned each other out right there for that 6th spot, and Bradley, that would have basically solidified you to be able to run in the playoffs. So, I mean, I know you don't want to see Team Vspeed struggle, but, I mean, yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I'd be holding my breath, too, if I was you.
Yeah, this is, I mean, you got mixed emotions through this whole race, and when you have some skin in it, it's a different broadcast. I tell you, watching right here, this could be another spot. Ziegler starting to suffer the damage now. He's lost the draft. He's got some cars on fresh tires that he probably won't be able to hang with. You see the 60 of Petrin, the 30 of Turner, and so these guys are going to pull away. I think right now, though, if you're outside looking in, you've got 3 cars a lap down. Last car on the lead lap, Brandon Yates, right now. Mitchell Costner stayed out as long as he did. Yes, he's got much fresher tires. We're talking about 20-lap difference on tires with some of these guys. However, he's 33 seconds back from the lead and 8.5 back from Taylor Clement here, and that's an eternity. That's over a quarter of the racetrack that he has to catch up just to get back a position. Do you think he stayed out too long?
I mean, from what I'm seeing as far as the times goes, I mean, Clement, I mean, he ran a 45.4 that last lap. Costner, this lap runs a 43.0. So some serious movement right there, obviously 2 seconds faster. He's got a shot to be able to catch him. He's just got to put down some good lap times as we see a battle for the 2nd spot. Kevin West up on the top side. Ronnie Joyner in the 0-0 takes it down to the inside. He's going to try to make the pass on Kevin West. Joyner down on the bottom, tries to keep it straight. He's going to slide up. Kevin West going to try to get the run. Thought about going to the inside, but he thinks different. He's just going to give him a whole buck draft going into turn 3. And, wow, Joyner able to make the pass, so kick Joyner up to 2nd. Now Molnick's Joyner for Venom Motorsports up here occupying the first 2 spots.
Moving through the top 5, Molnick's Joyner, West, Wunsch, and Ziegler. Ziegler losing some more ground last time by. It was about a full second slower than the top 5. Actually, a full 10th. I apologize to that, but you know just a product, I think, of the damage. And, you know, you can go through this field and see a lot of cars that have came and went, but it seems like everybody that started this race in the top 10 has suffered at one point or another, with the exception of Molnex and Joyner.
I mean, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you could actually throw Kevin West out of, I mean, also into that conversation of not really struggling. I mean, I don't remember seeing that one really having a problem, you know, here this evening. So top 3 pretty much looking good. Wunsch is, I mean, Galen Wunsch, he's been in all kinds of crazy stuff so far this evening. And Ziegler, obviously, with that right front damage, I guess you could say. But now you're starting to see the difference right here with some of these other guys that decided to stay out just a little bit late right there. You see Waylon Turner going to take it up to the outside. Here comes West. He's going to try to get some draft off of him. Turner down to the inside of Joyner. This is different right here than what the leaders would be expecting, with some lap cars literally going past them. Usually, Bradley, the first through fifth, when they're going through and they're lapping the field, they're usually the ones doing the lapping and doing the passing. A little bit different right here with some of this lap traffic, obviously with brand new, or more newer tires than the rest of the field, and just shoot right by them. So you up there in the top 5, got to be careful right here.
Well, just like that, Jake, we're at 10 laps to go here from Auto Club. The Tuesday night Xfinity Series and QSR simulations. It's getting ready to conclude its regular season. Daniel Molnex has led the vast majority of laps here today. 41 complete on the board out of 56 that he's about to come across and complete now. And here he sits on the bottom of the racetrack. Car looks dialed in the clean air. He is pulled out. I tell you what, the draft, that's what surprises me the most, that nobody has hung with the lead. That's usually the recipe here at Auto Club. It's just stay in the guy's draft and you'll be there at the end.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they're trying to do right now. And, I mean, they're doing a pretty good job. I mean, obviously, you know, Molnex trying to see if he can just try to, I mean, if I was him, I'd just let that 30 go right there. I wouldn't even try to mess with them. Obviously, with lap traffic, I mean, even lap traffic going up, getting into the wall a little bit. But Molnex better start watching his back bumper. I mean, Crandon, we're sitting right here, a little bit under 10 to go right here. Joyner's kind of picked up the pace a little bit. And Joyner obviously wanting to try to get him a win. Obviously, Ziegler's had his misfortunes here this evening. So Joyner trying to get up on that steering wheel and maybe try to get him a win. Obviously won the All-Star race earlier on this season, so he doesn't necessarily have a regular season win. He just got the All-Star win, which was no points on that one. But still, you get a win. Ziegler's back there in 5th. May enter into a little bit of conversation because Ziegler didn't get no bonus points so far here in this race. He hasn't led any laps. Joyner has, so it could be a little bit of a mix-up up there at the top, and Joyner obviously knows that, so he's trying to see if he can reel in Daniel Molnex right here.
And with that bonus point and the positioning and the finishing order right now, he probably have the lead down to around 6 or 7 points. So that's big when it comes reset time. You get those bonus points and everything, but you know, that's where I think the 57 is going to have the advantage, is that he has wins under the belt. Joyner, like you said, only has that win in the All-Star, the non-playoff or the non-point race. So that's where, if you're not a fan of the after party, as I like to call it, or the chase format, or even the playoff format, you can understand why at times. You gotta have a guy that can be consistently in the top 3, top 5 rather, and come the end of the season he loses out because he has such a deficit to make up because he went winless that season.
Yeah, I mean, and what's going to get interesting up here is actually Molnex is actually starting to race the 30 right now of Waylon Turner. Turner, one of those guys that elected to, I guess you could say, stay out late. And now he's on those fresher tires. But now I think what he's done, Waylon Turner, is he's actually worn his tires out now. And now he's actually starting to hold Molnex up. So this is going to bring Joyner into the conversation. This is going to bring Kevin West into the conversation. They have got it down to less than a second. As you see, I mean, you literally see it just dropping the time. Just literally dropping. Joyner starting to catch Molnex. West right in tow as well. So a 3-horse race by 3 of the guys up there in the top 5 is Kevin West. slides up, gets loose off a 4. He's going to go into the wall, and Joyner still trying to reel in his teammate, Daniel Molnix. So Kevin West may end up having to settle for third, but it's going to be between Joyner and Molnix from what I can see here at Auto Club.
It's looking like maybe a three-way battle for the lead, shaping up to the end of this thing, but Molnix might have been saving the tires here for these last 5 laps. 5 laps to go, and last time by, he was slightly faster. We were seeing 2-3 tenths shave off a lap, and now suddenly the 2 car comes back to life. Let's see what he runs this time by. I think it's going to be a little bit more dead even as they come off of turn 4.
Yeah, Molnix comes off of turn 4. Will get you time on their lap. Molnix hits the line this time. He's going to hit a 44.75. Joyner hit a 44.8. So Molnix able to get a 10th right here on Ronnie Joyner. As you see his teammate Mike Petrum back here trying to see if he can jump around him and maybe end up trying to help him out. I mean, Ronnie Joyner is, I guess you could say, the owner of Venom Motorsports for that team. So maybe some team orders out there trying to get Petrum to help Joyner out and maybe try to see if they can jump up there and get a hold of Molnix. We do see a little bit more battling back here between Cook and McMurtry. Quentin Stewart not too far back of that. Marshall Newton just a little bit back as well as you're riding on board with the 24 of Quentin Stewart sitting in the 8th spot. Good drive for him. I mean, hell, he's up 8 spots, so pretty big move right there by Quentin Stewart as well.
3 laps to go here. On board with Austin Dowdy, driver that's gained 7 positions, so another big mover. We have 3 different drivers that have gained more than 5 spots here today. 10 spots gained for Ryan Philbrick, and then way up in the field there, Quentin Stewart, like said, 8 spots gained, but coming up on 2 laps to go. You know, a lot of these drivers out here have been sweating, sawhorsing, working their arms, working their shoulders. I think by the end of this thing, they're probably going to have to get some icy hot. This thing is very, very demanding. You know, it's a simulator, but these direct drive wheels don't beat the crap out of you.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I mean, I guarantee you that. I mean, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, you know, what kind of wheel or what kind of wheel that you have. It's just how much, you know, finesse you got to be able to try to do here in these Xfinity cars at a place like Auto Club. I mean, it's something else. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with the icy hot. You know, some of them may end up having a cold one after this one, and especially, you know, the guys in that finish in the top 5. That are able to get inside that top 5 and finish there. I think they deserve a cold one as well. As Molnix coming off of turn 4, 1 lap to go. If the caution does not come out, which doesn't look like it's going to come out, Molnix is going to take the white flag here at Auto Club.
For the final time around this 2-mile oval, the number 2 in his dominant performance. It's another dominant week. In the last 3 weeks that we've watched QSR Xfinity, one driver in particular was better than the rest all the way through the show. This race has went green from the start, and Daniel Molnix just has to come out of turn 4 one last time. He will be the victor, and another shake-up week in the points as Jared Ziegler, your points leader, will end up 5th here today with no laps led. Kevin West, Ronnie Joyner look like they're going to come home complacent here with their 2nd and 3rd. We've got Molnix in victory lane here tonight from Auto Club.
Daniel Molnix in a number 2 across the stripe. He's going to win it. Joyner will end up finishing 2nd. Kevin West will finish 3rd. Galen Wentz has crossed the line. He will get 4th. Ziegler gets 5th. Morgan Cook, Derek McMurtry, Quentin Stewart, Marshall Newton, and Caleb Nelson. All the hell that 07 went through, he's still able to fight back and get him a top 10 here tonight. Awesome finishes. We see guys still back here. Brett Allen, CJ Gates, all the way to the line, baby. That's how you finish here at Auto Club.
And the strategy pays off here. Molnix able to pull away from the draft, get a gap of over a second to prevent these drivers from getting back to him. That's just how you got to do it here. As greasy as it was today, it was pretty easy to get the run off the corner and stick with a guy, pinch him down to the inside, but the defense in the first half of this race, that spelled picture-perfect moment here, and we're going to burn it down on the front stretch with Daniel Molnix.
Onyx burning it down here at Auto Club. Gets him another win on the season. As you mentioned, led 51 laps here this evening at Auto Club. And like you talked about, I mean, dominant performances 3 weeks in a row. Caleb Nelson, obviously, he did it at Richmond. Jared Ziegler, he did it at Dover last week. And for the 3rd week in a row, a dominant performer, literally stand out from the entire field. Daniel Monix gets the win.
Post-race interviews with your top 3. Final results coming up on your screen. We're going to take a quick commercial break. You're watching the QSR Xfinity Series live on Vspeed. More coverage continues right after this.
I just got 3 things to say. God bless our troops. God bless America. And gentlemen, start your engine!
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Back here live from Auto Club Speedway. The QSR Simulations Xfinity Series has concluded its final race of the regular season. And here tonight, a dominant performance by Daniel Monix in the number 2. He started on the pole, he led the most laps, and he is victorious with the trifecta here today. 4 lead changes, most of those under green flag pit stops, and that was the only time the 2-car was not up front. Ronnie Joyner plows his way to 2nd position. Hard fought here. Last few laps, about 10 to go, gets the pass on Kevin West. He never looked back. West started in 2nd. He'll hold on to a top 3 here today. But then it goes Galen Wunsch, Jared Ziegler for the top 5. Ziegler, points leader. That lead will shave down to probably around 6 or 7 points going in to the regular season championship. But after the reset here, I mean, we got to talk about it. Those victories that Ziegler was able to put together, it's going to help tremendously. Morgan Cook's going to go into 6th position. Officially, you'll have me in the booth the rest of the season here, Jake. I hope you're okay with that. Congrats to him on the great average finish. Derek McMurtry is going to finish in the 7th spot. Quentin Stewart, great day for him. 8 spots gained. He'll finish 8th. Marshall Newton, a little struggle towards the end, but he'll come in 9th. And then Caleb Nelson. That's really the biggest story, the biggest takeaway. With the way this guy's been all season, a little off the pace here today. He'll round out your top 10.
Then Trenton Wilkin will end up finishing 11th on the evening. Stephen McGough up 7 spots, starting 19th. He's going to finish 12th on the evening. Joseph Terciano will get 13th. CJ Gates drops a couple of spots from 8th to 14th in the final running order. Brent Allen will end up finishing in the 15th spot. Mitchell Costner will get 16th. Ryan Philbrick will end up finishing in the 17th spot with Austin Dowdy in 18th. Frank Walsh will finish 19th, and Waylon Turner, the last car on the lead lap, finishes in 20th.
21st spot's going to go to Mike Petra, and after staying out longer than a lot of the rest of the field, then it goes with Bradley Hall for 22nd, Brandon Yates 23rd, and these cars elected to not finish. Tyler Clemon in the 25 finishes 24th. Reed Sanders out of the race today. Chuck Sweeting also an early exit after getting damage on the right side. Kendorian Davis early exit 50 laps down, and Dirk Likes the first car behind the wall here today from Auto Club. So with that, our final results, it's time to bring some drivers up here. In the first one, we have Kevin West, your 3rd place finisher here today. He came out here in 2nd spot to start this race. He fought within the top 3 all race long. Had a couple stabs at the lead. He got a lap led, but tell you what, man, it seemed like this isn't the Auto Club that we used to race at. You used to be able to just hang with a guy and draft, and this track's so greasy here today. It was tough to just hold your own line, let alone, pull behind somebody.
Oh, yeah. The track temp was around 135, 140 degrees all race long. It was really just racing the racetrack all day almost. I mean, the car was just super loose off the corner, pushing really hard in the middle. It was a handful, man. I wish I would have pitted maybe a lap sooner. Like when Daniel pitted, we might have came out with him and just kind of managed the fuel from there like he did. But I don't know. What is this? My 40th podium in a row? I mean, we're looking good heading into the chase, baby.
One car has been pretty good here in QSR in the Xfinity series, and you put together quite a few top 3s to run the season. But let's talk a little bit about this reset here. The one car didn't have as many victories as you probably would have liked to have had. And so now, outside looking in, you're going to be kind of part of everyone else's schedule here on this reset and the points, and the top 4 are going to be picking some races. What's in store for us if you're going to pick a track?
We're spitballing some ideas here. We're thinking maybe Old Atlanta. That's the number 1 pick. Old Atlanta. Maybe Rockingham. I know we've been there already, but I'm the king of the Rock, man. I don't know if they can beat me there or not, but it's probably between Old Atlanta or the Rock. We'll see.
Outside of that, Kevin, congratulations on a regular season that, most guys are envious of, and you put together a lot of work here to make this happen. You still got some racing left to do on Thursday nights as well, but is there anybody that comes to mind that you want to shout out here while we got you?
Gotta give a shout out to Vspeed. You guys are the greatest. I say it every single time you guys interviewed me. Shout out to the mobile homies over on TikTok. I don't know if we hit 3K followers today. We're pretty damn close. Appreciate all the support over there. Shout out to the wife. Shout out to the fam. We'll see you next week in the chase, baby. We're going to make a statement. I'm calling my shot. We're going to win the first one. We're going to win the first round next week. Guaranteed.
We'll take it easy. Kevin, good luck out there, and we'll see what you got for him. And we'll try to get that schedule up on the broadcast here while we try to sort this all out. But thank you for your time, Kevin.
See you, boys.
It's 3rd place finisher here tonight, Kevin West in the number 1 machine. That brings us to our 2nd place finisher now, Ronnie Joyner in the 00. And we have Jake Reeves down there with him.
Yeah, absolutely. Ronnie Joyner able to get second here tonight. And Ronnie, just tell everybody about your race, because it looked like it was a straight up handful out there.
Oh, it was, man. It was a driver's race tonight. The track was nice and hot and slick, and you had to drive it.
Short and sweet to the point, I guess. Ronnie, go ahead.
Yep. See, you just had to drive it and not burn up that right front. Some guys were up top really early in the run, and that's what caused them to burn it up and stuff. So I could never get nothing to work on the top there, and it was just bottom all for me. That was it.
And Ronnie, obviously the playoffs start next week. We just heard from Kevin West. He's talking about that there's a possibility of him picking Old Atlanta or Rockingham. I know you very, very well. You like to play or you like to keep your cards, I guess you could say, close to you. But is there a track that sticks out in your mind that maybe you might want to pick?
It really doesn't. Keep my cards to myself and see how it shakes out. I'm sure we'll have 4 good tracks to run at, and we're just going to have to perform a little bit better than we did in the regular season to get that win.
Ronnie Joyner ends up finishing second here tonight at Auto Club. And Ronnie, before we let you go, buddy, you got any sponsors, any shout-outs you want to thank?
Yep. Thanks to the boys at Venom Motorsports. Great run, I think, for all of us here this week. And congratulations to Daniel. He took us to the woodshed there. And Vspeed and QSR for putting this on. And move on to next week.
Ronnie Joyner gets second here tonight in Hollywood Auto Club. Ronnie, appreciate your time, buddy.
All right. You guys have a good night.
So finally, that brings us down to victory lane, and you're Victor with a dominant performance and going back to stride. It looking like the old Daniel Molnex of late, and you had just a dominant performance here today. You led 51 laps. You started on the pole. You did everything perfectly. Even the execution on pit road was flawless. You come back out on the racetrack almost a mile ahead of everyone that had pitted ahead of you. And so, Daniel, you couldn't ask for a better race.
I could have led a few more laps, but no, I can't complain with what I had. I can't complain. It was a great car all night. Track was super hot, so I knew it was going to widen out a lot, but I didn't want to really run the top. I went up there a couple times and I gave up like 2 or 3 tenths. The one time I did it to the guys behind me, I was like, I'm not doing that again. So I just had to keep rolling the bottom and making it work.
Well, at first glance, and I have to ask you about this tonight because you have a new paint scheme out there, K1 Speed on the hood of that machine. At first glance, I thought it was a Vspeed car, and then I got to looking a little harder, and I realized very quickly that was not the case. But Daniel, all season long, you've been rocking some nostalgic paint schemes, or maybe something that's a little customized, but mostly, goes kind of a throwback to the old era. K1 Speed here on the hood. Anything you want to say or shout out for those guys?
I've been to K1 Speed. I've been to 2 or 3 or 4 of them actually, and I've had a blast. It's not necessarily competitive racing, but you're racing the clock, and sometimes it's similar to how it is on here, and it's just a lot of fun. K1 Speed, it's electric carts. Anybody out there, if you haven't been to one, you're missing out. They are a lot of fun to get in, and they're pretty quick.
So there it is right there. That's the regimen. That's the recipe. Go in there and do some electric karting, and you too can race Auto Club like Daniel Molnex. Daniel, finally, we're coming up to the reset, and we're going to be picking some racetracks. You get another victory here. It's going to put you up there probably in the top 4 here. You're going to lock yourself in on that aspect. We asked Kevin. He said maybe Old Atlanta, spitballing with Rockingham. I don't know if we can pick tracks that we've already ran or not. Ronnie's just, well, that's Ronnie. He's never going to tell you what he's thinking. And do we have a track possibly for a pick from you, or do you have any ideas of what you might want to run?
I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but we've ran there once this year already, and it's my favorite track on the service.
Does it start with a K?
No, definitely not that one. No.
Oh, okay.
Even though I had a good run there, no, not that one. No.
All right. Well,
I think I know which one he's talking about. I think I know, but I'm not going to say.
Jake, you know exactly which one, but yeah, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag just yet.
All right. Well, Daniel, we appreciate your time. Excellent regular season. This should put you up there pretty close with the pinch on the points, and all the victories that we had throughout should put you right there on the fringe of getting the lead if you win week 1. Anybody you got to shout out while we have you in the booth?
Vspeed. I mean, you guys, great week in, week out. I know y'all work hard. QSR, Quentin and Ronnie, all the admins, they somehow keep us all in check. And that's really about all I got for you.
Well, outside of that, appreciate your time. Congratulations on the victory, and we'll see you for the next 4 races to be determined here, QSR Xfinity Series. Congrats on the win, Daniel Monix.
Thank you, guys.
So that'll do it for our coverage here on Vspeed and the QSR Xfinity Series regular season. It's playoff time. Well, it's chase time. Let's get it official. It should be chase time, I think. We're going to run that format here at QSR. But final thoughts here before we let him go, Jake.
Well, I mean, honestly, Brad, we've seen these guys for numerous weeks throughout the regular season. We've seen guys be up at the top. We've seen guys struggle. But now it's going to come down to, like you said, those final races here for the chase. And it's going to get crazy, obviously. I mean, folks, you thought you've already seen some crazy stuff already happen this season. You ain't seen a damn thing yet. So the next couple of weeks right here, this chase format right here with the QSR Xfinity Series, I think it's going to be some of the best stuff on YouTube, X, whatever. I mean, it's going to be some of the best racing right here that you're going to see in quite some time. So hopefully everybody's going to be able to tune in.
Well, with that, we tell you goodbye. We have had an excellent coverage here today on Vspeed. If you like the broadcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button, share it. Just, hit the buttons on the bottom of the screen. That's all I can tell you to do. It helps us out tremendously, and we thank you for your time tonight. We're going to go back live tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Racing Revolution will be live. Hope you can join us there. And then Thursday night, we have 2 races left of the season for QSR Chase for the Cup, the Gen 4. Hope you can join us for that. But for everybody at Vspeed, Adam Baker, my co-commentator up in the booth with me, Jake Reeves, this is Bradley Cooper telling you to have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next time. Go Team Vspeed.